Okay there, YouTubers. I figured since I went to the RV show and they didn't have any Class Bs, I would go ahead and give you a tour of a Class B. It has to be my Class B. It's a 99 leisure travel. Big fan. So let's start first down here. You get propane. That's 30-gallon tank. You get an outside shower. Well, you're not going to shower in it, but you get that. That's the refrigerator. Here you get a battery bay. I only have one battery. I want to add a second. That's the house batteries. There's my furnace. There's my hot water heater. Here you get your storage compartment. Runs all the way through. I've shown it before. In the back, you get all the storage underneath. And under here, you lift that up. And there's a large storage compartment. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff in there. So ample storage. Under here is all your mechanicals on each side, under the bed. We're gonna do inside too, so don't worry. You have an AC unit. Here is the other side of the storage compartment. Again, it goes all the way through. It's a nice little feature that I like on the tailgate. That's where you can keep your sewer hose, keep it outside of the inside. This here is where your water goes, right there. Your electric, obviously, that I'm plugged into, 30 amp service. And then the water lever for whether you want to use the waterized city, which is basically pass through, or you want to use the tank and fill the tank. And up on top you have cable and phone hookups. Put the gas. And here we go is the generator. I have an Onan 2800 which runs the air conditioner quite well. And here's where I keep one of my hoses, because the black tank's right there, and my levers for the black and gray tanks are back in that corner. And right under the compartment down there is where you drain the black and gray tanks. So again, this is a 99 leisure travel. I like that the generator's up in the front, so I don't have to hear it at night when I'm trying to sleep if I'm running it. And I have an awning, just like every RV. So I have everything an RV has, just in a smaller package. Now let's go inside. I know I'm never on camera, so I figured I would be on camera and give you the tour of the inside of the RV. Again, I'm a big fan of Class Bs, but let's do a tour, and I'll try to keep the camera stable. It's much easier to do it when you're not in an RV show and people are coming and going, where you can actually take time and set the camera still. So we're inside, and I oftentimes get questions on why I'm never on camera. It's just a personal thing. I'm a real person. I'm actually here, but sometimes I like to show you what I'm looking at instead of just pointing a camera at myself. But I figured I would point the camera at myself for a little bit. So if we can see here, let me turn this a little bit. I have a coffee pot. Most RVs have a coffee pot. I have a pantry that slides in and out. Pretty large pantry. Back behind the driver's seat, I store a lot of things. This is a table. I have two of them. This one is the larger one, and there's a smaller one in here. Above me, I have storage compartments on both sides. Actually pretty good storage, to be honest. The TV came with it. It was a replacement. As you can see way up here, this is where the housing was for the old big TVs that everybody used to have. And now it's just a little flat screen. I have an antenna that does okay. I don't use that one very much. Lights under here, lights everywhere. There's probably 12, 14 lights in this RV, and we're gonna have to turn more of them on because it's getting dark. I have an air ride leveler system right there. It inflates the airbags in the back to give you a more stable ride. Underneath here I have a generator start, so I don't even have to go outside to start and stop the generator. I can also start and stop it there. The seats both will turn around. This one obviously is not going to turn all the way around, but you can turn it sideways. And one of the tables goes right about where my feet are, so you can turn the tables around and sit. So that's the front area. Turn this way a little bit. I have a microwave. Everybody needs a microwave. Up above there I have some storage. Let's turn some more lights on. You open this door, there's my wardrobe. Like I've said before, I carry a 5-gallon jug of water because I don't like to drink water out of the tanks for 2 reasons. This is a 99, so now it's like technically 16 years old, and that tank's been in there for 16 years. I clean it out every spring, run vinegar through it, but I don't like to drink from it. And the second part is I don't like to drink camp water myself. I do the filters and all that, but I like to drink real water. So I got a little hand pump on it. It was a couple bucks, and I use that for making my coffee and drinking whatever water I drink. And for the pets, the 2 cats they're the downside of having a small Class B, because you can't take many steps without bumping into a cat. The other table goes in there. I have a tub in the back with food. I oftentimes will stack a second tub. This is a neat feature. These right here, hopefully they're in the camera, slide out, and I can close off this area as such. We'll move the camera so I can do that. I can close that off. Let's turn this light on. A big light. This other area here, is the bathroom, and as you can see, there's plenty of room, lots of room. I can stretch my arms out and go from end to end. And above, we'll tilt up a little bit. Let's see, I have a shower curtain ring, and I have showered in here. And I apologize for the floor, but the drain's down there. Shower right here, plenty of room to go in and out. This also opens up, and you can slide this as such. So you've closed off this whole area, and you know, it has multiple benefits. If someone wants to use a restroom with a little bit of privacy, you can do it. You can use it even in a parking lot. You know, you're sealed in here, nobody can see you. When I use a shower curtain, I use magnets, and down on the floor it's metal, so I can stick that magnets to the floor. And I'm even planning, if I use it much more, to putty a magnet to these walls to keep the shower curtain from hitting you. I have a fantastic fan up there on the ceiling. Yay. There's quite a bit of space, and as you can see right now, I'm almost touching the ceiling, because another aspect I was going to show you is my floor down there. There's the pan, but I also have a wood floor that will cover both sections. And it's actually kind of nice, but I don't keep it in there very much. One, because having the pans down low with the pet stuff makes it easier for stuff sliding around. And 2, I'm 5'10", so I have some room, but having this out of there makes my life a little bit easier, because I can hit things like this. And again, if you're above 6'2", if you're 6'3", you're pretty much rubbing the ceiling, and I like it at the lowest level. That's my preference. If I do use the shower much more in the future, which would be a nice thing to do, it's always nice to have that option and the things you can do. In the bathroom area, there's storage areas for everything, and it has a sink as well. I rarely use that. I often think a lot of times that sinks, bathroom sinks in RVs, especially small ones like this, I mean, all I have to do is turn around and I'm at the sink, so I can wash my hands in that sink. So I don't use this very often. But there's a good amount of storage in here, and when you're traveling, sometimes this gets used for storage. So that's the bathroom shower area. It's a great option to have, but I tend to prefer using campground restrooms. If I can avoid using the bathroom, I avoid using the bathroom, because let's be honest, it's a porta potty, and you can put all the chemicals you want to put in it. It's a porta potty. On this side, let's see how we can do. Okay, hopefully that's in frame. That is the downside of the GoPro Hero. I don't have an LED on the back, or I don't have a screen on the back to see if I'm in frame. So now we come to the kitchen area. I have a normal kitchen. I have a 2-burner stove. I keep that towel to stop the rattles. 2-burner propane stove. I have a 3-way refrigerator. Electric, propane, and DC, which means it'll run off the alternator as I'm driving. Doesn't work real great. It does okay at best. I wouldn't want to drive for 50 hours and expect everything to stay cold. I have a utensil drawer. I have an outlet here. And let's bring the camera down to help you see. I have a very large storage area underneath. Large enough for lots of food. I'll use paper plates sometimes, but you know, if you've watched many of my videos, you know I like to cook a lot. And when I like to cook, I like to eat on real plates. So I keep a set of Coriel, which are fantastic. You can't hardly break them, and you can do anything you want with them. That's my new wave oven. Since you're in a Class B, you're not going to have a propane oven, but I like an oven. And so that's all my storage. The storage area up there, all along the front section, the whole length, and then storage area up here. And again, if you've watched many videos, that's Kiki's spot. That's where she likes to ride when we're moving. And one of them is always laying up there. If it's Kiki first, then Vinny takes her out of the spot. But that's where the cats hide sometimes. And a couple windows for lights that really don't do much. Now the downside of a Class B RV, especially the older models, is you have to bend down to get in and out. That's something to keep in mind. The newer Sprinter ones, you don't have to do that. And that is my command center, where it gives me the status of all my gauges. Okay, YouTubers, I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to move this tub out because my furnace is under there, and I'm going to turn my furnace on. If you can hear that, there we go. So I'm going to let that run for a minute. One of those systems on your RV you should always run from time to time, even though I don't use that very much. I prefer to use an electric heater when I can, and propane when I have to. Use other people's money, not my own. And since that's running, let's go outside and check. Again, you got to step down to do it. The furnace is going. That's my furnace. There's heat coming. It's a good sign. Okay, so I'm going to let that run about 5 minutes, and then we'll get talking about RVs again.